Hi, this is Chet from Stratos. This video will walk you through everything you need to know to get the AirGlow making sounds in your computer. If you missed the unboxing video, you can catch it at the link below. Let's get started by plugging in a USB cable. You want to use a USB cable that came with your AirGlow to start. You can use a longer one if you'd like, but it needs to be a data USB cable. Plug the USB-A end into a computer running Windows or Mac OS X. When you've plugged in your USB cable, you should be able to see a rainbow pattern on your AirGlow that tells you it's standing by. Now that that's out of the way, we'll download the application packages to get you shredding on your AirGlow. You should find a card with a QR code and a link on it. If you wish, type the link into the URL of a web browser to go step by step through the installation guide. Or you can just follow along to this video. That link or QR code is going to transform into this URL here, which takes you to GitHub, Optron Max Wiki. The very first step we're going to do is download an application from Cycling74 called Max MSP or Max 8. And this is what that screen is going to look like. And the link to take you there can be located at this download Max 8. So I'm just going to open that. Make sure that you choose the version for your operating system, Mac or Windows. And then click here to download the disk image, or it might do that automatically. Once installed, you're gonna wanna follow whatever steps that the installation wizard walks you through. The second step is we're going to download the Optron Max Package. We're gonna go to this link here. I'm gonna just, again, open this in a new window. And we're going to click the green button on the top right of that repo and click Download Zip. So this is what that window ought to look like. There's a green code button, and then we're going to choose Download Zip. On Mac, we're gonna open up a Finder window, and I'm gonna click on Documents. After you've installed Max and you've opened it up for the first time, you should see a Max 8 folder here. We're going to look for a folder called Packages. This screenshot right here on the installation guide actually shows you a much cleaner version of what's going on. Next is, let's take a look at where the zip folder for installing that zip file from this GitHub site. So as you recall, we went here, we clicked install or download the zip, and this is my zip file right here. It's got optron main.zip. And I'm gonna double click it to unzip it on a Mac. For Windows, you should also manually unzip that folder. And so once that folder is unzipped, we should see something that looks like this. We've got license, the Optron folder, pics, and readme. Now, this is where a lot of people get hung up. I'm gonna bring up where I can see my unzipped Optron folder right here. So under Optron Max Main, there's the Optron folder, and this is the money one. This is the one we want. In another screen, we're making sure we see Documents, Max 8, and Packages. And so what I'd like for you to do is to click, hold, and drag this Optron folder into the Packages folder. And if you've installed this before, it'll ask you to replace it, and that's totally fine. It'll replace it with the newest version. We should now see under Max 8 Packages a folder in there called Optron. You'll see a bunch of other folders in here on mine. You don't need to worry about that. That's just because I use a lot of packages. We're gonna go on to step 3. We're gonna make sure that Java is installed. Even if you believe you have Java installed on your computer, I highly recommend go ahead and just update your Java anyways. And so you can do that by clicking this link that says install Java here. So I'm gonna open that in a new tab. And you are going to find the version of Java for your operating system. And make sure it's 64-bit if it gives you an option between 32 and 64. You're gonna wanna follow along with the screenshot. Basically, whatever package or installer you get for that Java version, go ahead and follow the wizard and install that. In addition to needing to install Java, you need to also install this Java Virtual Machine, or JDK. So these are two separate steps. You can get that by clicking on this direct link here. So I'm going to open that in a tab, and this is what that page ought to look like. And again, you're going to find the version for your computer. You got Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So I'm going to click on Mac OS and I'm going to look at this 64 DMG installer here. DMG I always prefer because it gives you a really nice wizard to follow. If you are using Windows, I think this step is very important for you. If you're not using Windows, you might be able to get away with not doing this, but maybe let's just all do this. So we want to download this thing called the FTDI Virtual COM Port Drivers. And you can find those by going to ftdichip.com, drivers, VCP drivers. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and open that link up. And we don't want you to download the D2XX drivers. We will only want you to download the things called VCP drivers. And make sure you download the executable version. So I'm gonna go here. Again, these are the VCP drivers we want. Don't do the D2. Let's scroll down. And you're gonna find the version for your operating system. Always remember to go 64-bit. We're pretty much at the end of the installation process. Another thing that you can download for the link tools is from the Max 8 application, you can go to the menu item called Show Package Manager, and we can search link tools. So go to Max, open that application. Let's go to the Show Package Manager, and then under Remote Packages, type in the word link, and make sure that you've installed these link tools here. And then you're gonna want to restart and open up Max 8 so that all of your Java, your Optron packages are all up to date. Now that we've installed Java, we've installed the Max application and installed all of the packages, we are going to go ahead and walk you through getting started with the AirGlow Performer app. So go ahead and open up your Max 8 application. With Max open, how you get to your AirGlow Performer app is go ahead and go to Extras, find AirGlow, and the Optron AirGlow Performer. So let's go ahead and get acclimated to this environment. So up on the top left is your AirGlow Connect area. We'll use this place to connect your AirGlow to the application. Over here, the rest of the things on the top are your transport. You can set things like your key and your scale here. This will provide important information about where your finger is on the fingerboard of the AirGlow. These are rhythmic quantization features we'll get into in later videos, and to link your clock to other applications like Ableton Live and Logic and other fun music performance software. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with the basics. To connect your AirGlow to the computer, follow these steps in the top left. So we'll click this link to query the ports. You'll notice when you click that, the light on your AirGlow is going to turn off, so that rainbow pattern is now off. We will select from the drop-down menu, and this is going to be different for both Windows and Mac users. If you use a Mac like I am, you'll find this thing called USB modem with some numbers on here. It won't exactly be the same sequence of numbers as mine, but you'll just look for that USB modem. If you're using a PC, you're going to want to choose COM and then some number, COM and then some number, and that'll be your AirGlow. And click this button on number 3 to turn it on. You can view your data by clicking this button, which pulls open your AirGlow data screen. I just want to show you a couple things about the AirGlow and your data. So if you take a look at the slide on the top left, that is the position of your finger sliding along the finger bar. And so notice as I'm gliding my finger left and right, you should see the data on this top left here follow and track my finger, where 1 is all the way out to the end, and then the values go lower as you go closer to the center. Press is the pressure sensor on your fingerboard as well. And so if you give your fingerboard anywhere a squeeze, it will track how hard you are squeezing, where the harder you're squeezing, the higher the number you're going to get. AX, AY, and AZ, GX, GY, GZ is your motion sensors, and we'll go into a really fun video about, what are these sensors, but just know that they're tracking your motion. And then you have your air guitar sensor streams, hover and sweep. And if you hover by tracking the distance of your hand from that sensor, you will be changing that hover, and then sweep, you'll be going left and right. Now, to easily play an instrument, we have 4 types of instruments down below. For this video, we're just gonna get started making a sound. So your lead instrument is kind of like a lead guitar. You can click this to turn it on and then turn up your master volume. You can start by loading in a sound. For loading in a VST instrument, if you click this little plug on the left, it should give you a variety of different kinds of instruments that you can drag and drop. I have a really fun one that I like to include with the packages called Crystal. So if you click, hold, and drag Crystal into this drop zone here, that will load up a instrument. And then to choose an instrument, I'm just gonna go ahead and click this button here and go on down and choose something called Atmo E-Piano. I'm going to play some things. And so just press anywhere. Oh, one more thing. You have to turn your audio on for the application. So I'll turn the audio on there. And there you go. You're playing like a cinch. You're playing like a cinch. I'm an old person. All right. You're playing like a cinch. I'm gonna make up words for YouTube.